Hello, everybody. Just getting through a little technical issue, but I think we are all here and good to go. I hope everyone is wonderful today. It is a beautiful Tuesday afternoon. You get to see the ceiling of the deck. Here I am, hoping to not get cords caught up and everything. I hope everyone is having an absolutely wonderful week and is ready to move a little bit. We've got a really cool lesson today on really one of my favorite topics, which is anti-spin flowers. I really like how these feel. You may see me doing these a lot. Anti-spin is just really, really super rewarding. So anyways, I wanted to take a moment and put down the poi because of course I immediately pick up my poi every single time. I put down my poi and we can start warming up with the universal grammar of poi spinning, which is timing and direction in various planes combined with different driving styles make almost infinite movement. So we're gonna talk a little bit as we warm up about timing and direction, because we talk about this every time as we warm up. This is together time, same direction. Remember, you have together time and you have split time. So if you just move your arms together in a circle like this and get your whole body, your knees, your torso, your arms, everything, even your neck a little bit, you can do together time, same direction. That's adding a third element of rotation that could entirely screw up our entire system. But take them both directions. And remember, we have together time, you have split time, and then you have same direction and opposite direction. And we're going to combine those in the wall plane, which is right in front of me here. The wheel plane, which is right here, if you want to do circles like this, forward and backward. And we have the floor plane. And if you do together time, same direction in the floor plane, you realize all of a sudden you're doing the Cabbage Patch. And doing both directions. Take care of every direction you can consider. It's a lot of times for me, I mention these all the time. Different things these shapes remind me of. So if I turn into the wheel plane and start doing split time, same direction, it's like you're swimming, right? Split time, your arms are going in the same direction, but they're always opposite each other. So that reminds me of swimming. And it's a really good way to remember, all these different things. Build your metaphors. Remember to do backstroke as well. And one of the things with this, you may notice that I'm kind of going from arm span to arm span and really emphasizing the fact that I'm moving my trunk. I'm turning my trunk as I do this. It's not just shoulders here. I don't want to put a ton of force on my shoulders. I want to get more extension. It's expressive and it's less on your shoulders, less on your joints to move your whole body. Then if you do together opposite in the wheel plane, so actually I'll turn toward you, but I'll still do this in the wheel plane. Together opposite means you're going opposite directions, but at the top and the bottom they meet. So I guess you can see it a little better from the side. But if I go forward and back, then both down, and switch directions, I'm doing two circles that meet at the top and the bottom. So they're in the same timing, but they're going opposite directions. And make sure to do that both ways so you can really warm up your whole body, turn your trunk as you go, really feel your core doing a lot of this work too. And then if we come back to, if you turn to the wall plane, that same movement of those circles, same time, opposite direction, you reach up and it's almost like you're doing mountain pose. You gather up all this energy and bring it back down through your core. Okay? and then go the opposite direction. Send that right back up. Gather it up from the ground and send it up. And then one last is, we'll do it in the wall plane, split time, so your hands are apart, opposite direction. So they'll cross on the sides rather than top and bottom. And this is like double dutch. And do it the other way too. And right now we're doing it big, but you can also bring it in smaller. And this is actually more like double dutch. You can imagine doing rope like this, bring it back. Okay, I hope that kind of got everyone warmed up a little bit. So last time, what we talked about were spin flowers. So that's when you have compound circles that are going the same direction. You have this circle here rotating around your hand, then you create a larger circle around your shoulder. Those flowers are going together, and it's like circles in circles, and they're really, really cool, and they're very harmonic together. It's very nice. And what we did was we used a beat removal method for each petal. So we started at the top, and we did 1, 2, 3, and then went to the side, 1, 2, 3, and we slowed it down. We went 1, 2, 1, 2, then we got 1, 1, 1, 1. So we kept doing these flowers, these 4-petal flowers, where we learned by removing the beats, by kind of easing into the feel of it. Another way that you could also do that is if you just kind of start doing a larger circle as well, you're doing a many-petaled flower, and then you can kind of try to remove those beats as well. You can put as many petals as you want in your flowers. So today, we're going to use the beat removal method to teach us 1, 2, 3, go in the opposite direction, right? So right now, you'll see that this looks very different because my shoulder circle is going the opposite direction as my hand circle. So right now, rather than a kind of like a, I don't know, more of a cauliflower type shape that is bulbous, you end up kind of like, if you imagine the suit of clubs on your on playing cards, you know, where you get these lobes that come out. Or if you remember chemistry, kind of, it looks like I think these are p orbitals, either s or sp orbitals. Anyways, there are these little bulbs that are very evocative. So let's dive into that by doing these. We're going to do a wall plane together sing. We generally start off with that because it's really a good way to kind of work things up. You can always, as we just did with your warm-up, figure out timing and directions with your hands first. You can always put down your poi. You can always have your poi in your hand and grip them. If you feel like you want an object, you can have your poi in your hand and let them dangle, like you're just translating them around without really adding momentum to them. So it's good to remind yourself of what your overall motion is going to be. So we're going to be doing a circle like this. So what we're going to be doing is I take a circle in my right hand, and I am doing a counterclockwise circle with my hands. What I'm going to end up doing is a counterclockwise with my hand circle, and I'll have a clockwise with my arm circle, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start spinning this counterclockwise, and I'm going to have 3 beats, and then I'm going to move my arms 90 degrees clockwise. So 1, 2, 3, move sideways, 1, 2, 3, bottom, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Seems easy, and you probably don't even see that much of a shape. But then when we bring it down to 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then we bring it down to 1 beats. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. right? Now you might notice, if you're doing this along with me, the feel of this beat is very different than the last time. Because last time you would feel a beat kind of toward the center of the circle. So spin flowers, you feel a strong force kind of toward the center of your body. Anti-spin, you will find the force going toward the outside of the pedal. So when it's at full extension, you'll feel the most angular momentum, okay? So let's try that with your left hand. Do the same thing. So that means we're going to be spinning counterclockwise with the left hand, and then we're going to move our arms clockwise. So 1, 2, 3, side 1, 2, 3, bottom 1, 2, 3, side 1, 2, 3, top 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. I hope that's starting to feel like it makes sense for people. And then we'll take both of these, and you can make them a little bit short. You know, if you want to shorten up your poi, one thing I suggest doing, there are a lot of ways of gripping poi. One thing you can always do is give a wrap, even a big wrap over your hand and a small wrap over your finger. You still get the momentum. When you're just learning something and trying to keep something in a plane, that can really kind of help you, so you don't get this wonky momentum that, you know, when you got long chords and all of a sudden you kind of go out, it really can spin you out. So don't be afraid to use really short poi. Actually, traditional poi, you may see a lot of traditional poi using really, really, really short handles. So there's a method to this. So if we are going with both hands now, up at the top, spinning counterclockwise, 1, 2, 3, side 1, 2, 3, bottom 1, 2, 3, side 1, 2, 3, top 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. I make these a little longer because you do get a little stronger feeling by doing that. And something that you, excuse me, something you may notice is with that pull that's happening downwards, you can really stop easily at the bottom, right? So that's a down stall. See if you can do that same movement that we were doing and just stop, pause at the bottom. And then, this is a little bit advanced. Some people will get this feeling and some people won't. It's okay if you don't get this right away. But if you do this and pause, then go backwards. And what you're doing is you're learning the opposite direction by stalling at the bottom. And it's really good to work both directions because you don't want to just learn clockwise or counterclockwise. You want to be able to do this. And being able to change directions like this is really, really interesting. Teach you a little bit about that later on as kind of our advanced thing. So, if you're not able to do that right away, don't worry. But if that's something that just kind of, I feel like a lot of times reversing something, even if you don't know why, it just kind of makes muscular sense, then you can get into both directions without building it up as much. But it is good to build it up too. So that is wall plane, together same. So if we go to wheel plane, split same, that's the swimming type. And you can do, as I mentioned last time, you can do small anti-spins together like this, and you can do threes together easier. But really, if you're going to split your arms apart, because of your shoulder blades, it's hard to do together same in the wheel plane doing big extensions. So we will move to wheel plane, split time, same direction. So that is like you're swimming. So take your arms And let your poi dangle and really feel that. This is where your arms are going to be going. So take your right hand and spin forward. So over your shoulder, almost like you're jumping rope, up high. And what you're going to do is you're going to do 3 here, and then we'll go to the back, then we'll go to the bottom, then we'll go to the front. So take it to the top. 1, 2, 3, back. 1, 2, 3, bottom. 1, 2, 3, front. 1, 2, 3, top. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, forward. 1, 2, top, back, bottom, forward, top, back, bottom, forward. So, and you will be doing a one-handed anti-spin in the wall plane. And we're actually doing this, so the circle is moving forward, the hand circle is moving forward. Your arms are doing a reverse circle. So it's going to feel like you're doing backstroke, okay, in this one. So with this same thing, let's start with our left hand. I'll move back so you can maybe see it a little bit. Left hand at the bottom, and your left hand will be spinning forward, right? And then what's going to happen is your left hand is spinning forward. I'll actually rotate just so you see. I hope you don't get confused with me turning. But your left hand is down at the bottom, and then your left hand will move forward, and then your left hand will move upward, then it'll move back, and it'll move forward. And don't spin your other poi, but feel what this feels like just to have your other arm moving along with this. Okay? So, start at the right hand up top, don't spin. Left hand in the bottom, you're spinning. We're going to do 3, and then we're going to go forward, top, back. So, 1, 2, 3, forward, 1, 2, 3, top, 2, 3, back, 2, 3, bottom, 2, forward, 2, top, 2, back, 2, bum, 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 bum. Okay? So let's work these together. Your right hand at the top, your left hand on the bottom, you're spinning both of them forward, right? And then what's going to happen is you're going to do backstroke, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. I got a little bit off there, but once you get into the hang of it, this is actually one of the harder ones to do just because of the rotation. But boom, 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 boom. Practice this. Use your full body rotation will help you with that. Okay? Then let's do, so I'm going to let you do that same one forward. I'm not going to walk through the whole time, but what you'd end up doing is you'd spin this one. You'd spin your poi are going to spin backwards, and your arms are going to move forward with that one. Okay? Let's, though, move to a wheel plane together opposite. This is the one where we are together and split, then bottom, split, right? So this is the same thing as a butterfly, but it is in the wheel plane, okay? So if we work that one up, that means that we're going to be together on the top. So if you spin this one, I'm spinning, my right hand is spinning forward, my left hand is spinning back. We do 1, 2, 3, and split 1, 2, 3, split 1. Together, 1, 2, 3, split 1, 2, 3, top 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay? So that one, you might have to build it up a little bit. I obviously need a little practice on those too, because I don't do those as often as some of the other ones. And a lot of times when I'm doing an anti-spin with one direction, I might be doing an extension with the other. So we can get into hybrids later. It's kind of a habit that I have, and I am a little bit imbalanced because of it. But I wanted to show you guys how to work through it, even if I kind of knew that those would be a little bit tough for me because I don't practice them enough. Okay, so practice. All timings, all directions, all hands, everything. But now you know how to build that up. The last one we're going to do is going to be the wall plane split opposite. This one I love. So remember, this is the double Dutch where you're facing toward each other and you're going to be crossing on each side, right? So up and down to the side. Switch, which is up and down, meet at the side, okay? And what's going to happen with this is, so if you are spinning in, this is clockwise, you're spinning this one in counterclockwise, and they should be meeting at the side. Okay, so what's going to happen is you spin, so counterclockwise on top, clockwise on the bottom. Then what's going to happen is you're going to meet at the right, and then you're going to switch, which was top and bottom, and then you're going to meet at the left, okay? And notice that with these, you could be doing it where it feels like the beats are up and down. You want the beats to be forward and back, so they cross at the side. This is one of those really interesting timing and directions, okay? So instead of meeting up and down, you want to meet forward and back. You see how that's working? So let's start together at the side. And then, so right is moving clockwise, right is moving counterclockwise, left is moving clockwise, okay? So right is moving counterclockwise, so it's like a forward spin to me. Left is moving counterclockwise, which is like a reverse. And then right goes to the top and left goes to the bottom, so. And then bring them off to your right side and switch what is top and bottom. We're going to start counting. So 1, 2, 3, left, 1, 2, 3, split, 1, 2, 3, right, 1, 2, 3, top, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. And this one may take a little bit of work, but honestly, this one ends up feeling pretty spectacular when you have this down. This is probably my favorite anti-spin to do. Now, I blew through that pretty fast, but I taught you how to build those all up. You really need to work on your wall planes and just how your arms are moving together and just your different timings and directions. You'll be able to build that all up. So the last thing I wanted to mention, though, is I brought up the fact that you can really stall easily when you get to the bottoms. You can really stall easily when you get to the tops as well. So you may remember that stall is a moment of zero momentum. Right here at these anti-spin spots, it is a moment where you can go into zero momentum very, very easily and very quickly. So if I'm doing, for instance, anti-spins, same time, same direction, I can switch one of them and not switch the other and change my timing and direction. And a lot of times I'll do that at the top or the bottom. And it looks really neat. So if you change if you can go from no momentum, do one anti-spin to the top and back, That's a really good exercise. Because you'll realize you can start splitting your hands. So do those together. So what I'm doing is I'm going to one side, top, back to the side, bottom, then let it go over the top to the bottom, then to the top and back. But you can really do any sort of move through it, let it happen, and say, hey, I'm going to change direction here. And then if you work those separately as well, you can start doing things where you combine that together, and people are saying, what's going on? That's really confusing. And all you're doing is you're taking different anti-spins, taking that moment to change the timing and directions. It's a little bit advanced, but it's really cool. I know that you all have the theory to do this now. And a lot of this really from this point is practice. Because when these lock in, they feel amazing. And I know you can do all of them because you can build them up. Next week, we are planning on taking a step back because what we've really done, we've really started working on understanding timing and directions. Did a little bit of a deep dive, but flowers are some of the best ways to really get that feeling of, oh, this is very different in this way, and this is very different in that way. These are the implications of them. But we're going to go into more turns and 2 beats next week. Because what we learned in the past is how to turn forward to backward. But you may notice I actually started tossing in little extra beats behind the back. So that sort of stuff we're going to learn next week. We're going to learn stuff about turning in different timing and directions, in different angular formations, that sort of stuff. So really connecting a lot of what we've done all together. I hope everyone is fantastic. And let me know if you have any questions, comments, stuff like that. Drop some videos in the comments if you are like, hey, I'm hitting into this or that was unclear. But really, this is kind of the reverse, almost exact opposite of last week, which is really kind of neat. So you've spent 2 weeks doing very, very similar things in a very, very similar learning style, where you can now go forward and back and say, okay, how do I combine this like this? How do I build up to that? This is possible, that's not possible, and work through to it. So it's wonderful to see you all. And if you have anything specifically you want to learn, I know I'm going to teach turns and 2 beats next week, but I haven't decided what I'll teach the week after that. So totally up for suggestions and requests. So thank you all so much. I hope you are staying safe, supporting small local businesses, support the arts, and support each other. Love you all. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.